on like short-term rentals, for example, already have a plan and zoning. I mean, you can't do anything without the plan, and you don't necessarily need zoning, you just need special permits if you don't want to go that step further and have zoning, but, yeah, it's a lot of heavy reading, but I think once you get into it, like I said, there's one town that I read that for the short-term rentals in their area that are on a lake, that they have it so they can't rent it out more than 14 days a month. So you can't have, from the beginning of July to the end of September, something rented out every week or whatever. It's, there's certain things like that you can do, but you have to be, we will be reasonable, because I don't like telling people what to do with their property. But if you're doing something for the good of the whole town, for the benefit of the future, then you do it. And, like I said, that's why it's a long process. They said don't expect it to be any shorter than about a year once you get into the meat of it. And that's our year. Then we give it to the county and however long it takes them. But once it's done, it's done. And it is a living document. It can be adjusted by law. But.
So if we were to enact that, people that are already rentals, whether you're renting yourself or through a real estate property, they fall under grandfather, or they would have to comply?
As I was once told by our attorney, that grandfathering is not a consideration unless you put it in the document. So if the document is written without, and people will be grandfathered, if the document's written without it being grandfathered, then you don't have to grandfather.
I mean, with the exception of the people that rent now are probably going to be the same people 5 years from now that are renting.
Right.
I don't see a lot more.
Right. I mean, there's not going to be any more
coming on the
camps.
list.
There's not going to be any more things to rent, because, like I said, every property has.
Right.
It's all full. So.
One thing on that I'd like to comment on is, in the short-term rental, is what he's talking about is, what they did with the grandfathering is if you were already a rental, you were giving first opportunity to be issued a permit, because they only were allowing an extra number of permits that year, or in any given year. So in turn, if you were already doing it, you were allowed to apply first for the permit, and then once that was exhausted, then they went to newcomers. That's how one town was taking that object on that he was talking about.
So, but that's something to be hashed out.
So the first step in this is type out something nice, put on our webpage, get it out there, advertise it, look about what we're looking for, and have them contact the town and get a name on the list, and then go from there.
Have a start date.
Yep.
And try to start.
Yeah, because, you don't want
See if there's any interest in that.
15 people from Lime Mountain and then, or 15 people from around Chazy Lake or whatever. We need to have a good blend of the whole town from.
Cross section.
And we don't have to, it sounds cruel, we don't have to include the village, because they're a municipality on their own, so they don't really need to be part of the conversation. Because
District 2 rule.
the other side of the village, yes, but the village itself, no matter, even if we told them, here's what our comprehensive plan is, they could go, that's nice, and carry on. So that'll free up a couple spots. All right, enough of that. Anybody have anything other new business? All right. Committee reports. I get to talk some more. Yay. Okay, as Becky mentioned, we did get a check from Comp Alliance for $500 for being good customers. Basically, it had nothing to do with our number of claims or anything like that. We get that check separately. This is just a, hey, thanks for being with us for another year. So we got that in. I sat on a Women in Local Politics Roundtable last night at the Stafford Theater at Clinton Community. Janet Dupree, Patty Waldron, Janet McFetrich, who's the Champlain Village supervisor, and myself. Had about 2 hours. It was moderated by Tom Halleck, sponsored by the Mountain Lake Television. And we had about 30 people there asking questions and whatnot. So it was a good roundtable, and I learned a lot about how horrible it is to work in the assembly when you're a woman from Janet. So, but that was my day yesterday. I got a call from Jim Munn, who is the property superintendent, Young Life's Saranac Village, who is they're looking for sand. Every 7 to 10 years they're required to remove and replace the top 6 inches of their septic system to facilitate percolation. In the past, they've always gotten that from Town of Dannemora because we have the ideal sand for that. And so they asked if that was something they could purchase from us toward the fall timeframe. I told them I had to bring it to the board. They want 180 yards. And I told them we'd sell it by the ton, but I would do the calculation. A cubic yard of sand is 1.4 tons. So for 180 yards, that's 252 tons by $20 a load or a ton. So it'd be $5,040. So, yeah.
Oh, that's quite a haul.
Who was it for you?
Saranac Village.
Saranac Lake Camp,
Wow.
Young Life Camp.
Yeah, I know exactly where it is.
Yeah, they're wastewater sand filters. They have wastewater sand filters, and the sand is explicitly specified by New York State DEC for operation of our open sand filters. So,
And they use your sand for that?
yep, because it must be because it's so coarse that it
Filtrates.
It filtrates. So, anyway, I bring that to you. If you think that I should tell him yea verily, we will sell it to him.
That's every 10 years, basically, you're looking at?
7 to 10 years. Every 7 to 10 years, they replace it.
I'll make a motion to enter into an agreement with Saranac Young Life Village for the purchase of our sand of, how many cubic ton?
Well, 180 yards.
180 yards.
Yeah, 180 cubic yards.
And that would be the cost of?
$5,040.
And the cost of $5,040.
And yeah, Fuller Excavating is the person that does that, and they will bring their own equipment to load and haul. So
We're gonna scale it though, how far scale?
we can, if they come when the scale's not busy, we can. But they're asking for yardage, and we know how much a truck holds
Right.
as far as tonnage goes. So.
Okay.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I think I have. That's it for me. Jim?
No.
Jason?
Just, EMS thing is still going smooth so far. We're just trying to get over that little hurdle and get the CLM going and get the ambulance back up, and then we can start getting our EMS meetings together and go from there. But as far as response time and everything, they've been, I mean,
That was, yeah, because when I left here the other day, the crash had just happened, and I met the ambulance.
you know,
So they were on the ball.
Minutes.
I was right by the alley out, and I know I got to the truck, and they got on the scene before I got down with the truck, so they were pretty, well,
And she did a good number on that telephone pole.
yeah. I've been trying to go to all the ambulance calls that we've had, but knock on wood, we haven't had too many lately, so. But everything I've had, any complaints, everything's been kind of smooth, and, but I just like to see this get going forward so we can start proceeding with some more things in the near future. And one other thing I got is I'm still working on trying to do the basketball hoops. I talked to Deb about it today, so I'm trying to get that.
Yeah, Leslie and I went in the cold storage building, and it's on 3 pallets plus an extra box. And we weren't gonna start looking through there's probably about 100 boxes, because it's, you know, I'm sure that this hardware's in this box and this isn't here,
Right.
so, I recommend that you go, the floor's wide open right now, all the equipment's out of there, you know, there's a big open area. I think I have to go in there and just
Dig it out.
lay it out on a tarp or something in the middle of the floor and find it. Plus, there's two different styles
Rims.
of the posts there. You know, there was a platinum level and then there was a gold level, so I'm sure those probably aren't interchangeable or whatnot, so.
Do we have anybody to install
So I called Robbie Tripp and he said he'd give us a quote, but he just wanted to kind of look at the instructions to see, because he's done this before, he's actually did it for school in Saranac,
them? Right.
for playground stuff. I mean, he's aware of the stuff that needs involvement and how deep and all, but this stipulation guidelines gotta go by for every different, they're all different, you know? So he just said, yeah, I'll give you guys a quote, I just would like to see what the instructions are.
I know
And then
initially
after-
when I talked to them, when I had called, Hoops, I think they're called, they, you know, they said that it's very specific, the way the cement's put in, it's like a 3x3x3 block that it's setting in, it's, so,
Well, he's willing to give a quote and willing to do it, because I didn't call anybody else, because I figured I'd probably get the same,
He's willing to put it together too, or?
I don't know, like I say, I just,
there's a
I
lot of pieces
Sounds like
there.
it's disassembled.
so I went from there and I reached out to Mark, tried to get him to help me out, and I got nothing. So tomorrow, I'm gonna be around, so I might get the key and go up and try to look at it myself, research on the box, maybe look it up on Google, you can Google anything, so maybe the directions will be on there, and I can kinda go from there and get a ballpark idea or just have them come up and show them what we got, and then
Mhm,
we can go from there, but
yeah, I mean, there's big boxes.
What time
It's
of
not
week
all-
you doing that?
I'll be at the firehouse, at Lime Mountain or whatever all day. I got a lot of people coming in, working on the doors and stuff, so. And then I got I'm gonna try to make it over the funeral stuff, but see how long they get done there. So I'll be in Lime Mountain pretty much all day.
I don't know, I'm cooking at the funeral,
Yeah, I figured you'd be up there.
I don't know what time we're gonna be done there.
Well, if we get 5 minutes, I'll be at the fire, I'll try to get the key tonight, and we can take a run over and check it out. And
Okay.
just like try to see this get moved on and get it out of in the back and behind us, you know, and done, over with. And not have to hear any more complaints or anything, and they're not sitting in storage anymore. The
No,
kids can enjoy it.
Oh, nobody's
yeah,
complaining.
somebody can do it.
You'd have to wait anyway till the ground got open.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
but you know, it's busy season for a lot of these people, so a lot of people are already booked up, but I mean, if
Yeah.
he's willing, he's willing to do it. I mean, I know we gotta do the 3 quote thing, but still
Yeah. Good start.
move forward with it.
Good start.
That's all I got.
Mike,
Good.
Joey?
No, I'm actually, he took some of my report,
Sorry.
working with, no, you're good. Just working with Alex to make sure we can do what we can to get 243 back online, so.
I will throw out there too, he's a very knowledgeable kid, for a young kid, I mean, he's calm, cool, collective, and he's
I'm very impressed with
to
Alex.
the point, and cause I was, like I said, that last meeting when that was brought up, I was a little upset about that. Been in the fire service for 25 years, and there's always a rule of thumb, but that was the old times, now this is the new times, and everybody's so happy, and it's just the way it rolls. Unfortunately, but the odds, basically like he told me that day too, the odds of this happening is
Right.
all the time are slim to none. It's like every ambulance in CVPH has got to be out, then they go to Morrisville, so all those ambulances got to be out before they even kick Dannemore out to go to that. So it's just,
Can I respond to that? All it would take is one good fight in the North Yard, and you're gonna need that. And that jail's hot. It's been
oh, I know all about it.
It's not getting any better, you know? And that's the part I worry about, because I see it on the inside.
And the thing
what
is,
goes on in there.
I agree with you 100%, Frank, but the thing with that is, it's a liability thing, that's a state, that's a, like I say, lawsuit thing. I mean, if they don't go, then they're gonna look at a lawsuit, and it's,
Well, they can take away their certification.
it really sucks all the way around, to be honest with you. But I just wanna explain to you how that works, but they're gonna pull other resources. If they use all them ambulances, and they're gonna pull resources, they do it all the time in Champlain. Champlain's got, what, 2 or 3 ambulances, when they all go out, they make CVPH stage up in that area, the northern tier, cause or they'll pull Cherry Bosco, Town of Clinton, or Ellenburg down to stage to cover that whole northern tier, because they're all out. So they're always trying to do something, they're always moving them ambulances constantly. Prue, right now, they're going through a bunch of stuff right now, pretty much the same thing that we're going through, because they contract with CVPH. And right now, they're working on stuff with Prue, splitting their crews and getting that ambulance going, because CVPH is just ambulance calls are phenomenal, it's
Are
crazy.
we the only EMS service that only has one ambulance?
Well, we will have two ambulances as soon as,
Remember, we don't, we didn't, that's.
Altona has one.
Altona only has one,
Altona
Elbert
has
Center only
Has
has one.
one.
But Ellenburg Depot has one, I mean,
That's a-
Ellenburg as a town has more than one.
Yeah,
They're
Elbert,
still separate, they're still separate entities though.
Never had an ambulance before until they went to pay service.
it's a mess, and honestly, like, we talked about this before, back in the day, it was brought up, there should have been a countywide EMS thing, and it never.
Yep.
It's just the way Crumble rolls, unfortunately.
Altona will not go in for an inmate. I worked at Altona for 21 years.
I'll tell you different.
I'll tell you different, they
We
do
were
more.
volunteers, we were in there a lot.
They don't throw anybody special out for Altona.
All right. Mark's not here. So it's been stop and go with them. They were hoping they could take the plows off and the sanders out so they could do something else. But Mother Nature has other plans for them. And our biggest issue is, again, ice. That was our biggest issue in the fall and in the beginning of the winter was ice. Even though we didn't have that much snow, snow would have been better because we use a lot more sand when we're just dealing with ice than with snow. Overtime, you asked about, it seems as you lived through, the storms come on the weekend. Every weekend during the winter was crappy. Beautiful sunny weekdays, and then as soon as Friday rolled around, Friday night,
Yep.
then we'd get an ice storm or a snowstorm or something. So I'm not sure if how it compares to previous years as far as overtime goes. I don't think they went out as much as they have. I know the men, in lieu of being able to do anything else, well, they've been working on fixing the one truck. And also they've been pulling the chipper out and going and picking up the biggest of the brush and chipping that and getting it out of the way. They'll go into it more when the ground hardens up so they can get into places without either getting stuck or destroying the property, spinning up everything and making it worse.
What are their hours in the wintertime?
In the winter, they're on
5 to
They're
1.
5, so it's 5 to 1.
5 to 1.
And their hours in the summertime?
5 to 4, or 6
5
to 4, or
to
is it?
5 to
It's
4.
10 hours,
10 hour days,
whatever
they're
it
off
is.
on Fridays.
And they're done at 4, so back up from 4 o'clock, 10 hours,
Six
So
to
7?
4. 6 to 4.
6 to
6 to
4.
4, yeah.
So that's what their
Yeah,
summer
that's what
hours
it
are.
is.
And they
I know
started
a lot of
summer
times-
hours April 15th.
This winter, before school got out, sometimes there was that much snow on the road before the bus came through.
Well, if it's snowing, if they start on one end, by the time they get done their full run, they gotta turn around and start because the snow's filled it up again. You gotta
A lot of
understand,
times-
it takes 4 hours to do one run. To cover their run, it takes 4 hours, going 35 miles an hour on a plow.
Mhm.
You're not going through there
We only got
55.
17 miles of road though.
No, we have 46 lane miles that we plow.
Oh, used to be 17.
The town has that many, but we do county. So,
Well,
Well, yeah,
shouldn't town roads come before the county?
we gotta travel over the county roads to get to the town roads, so we're not gonna have the plow up and do our roads and then do county. That doesn't make sense, so.
How many county roads do we have? Which ones?
Standish Road is county road.
Right,
Shazy Lake Road is county road.
right.
General Leroy Manor is county road. So, we have to get to them, we have to get to our roads, like Bart Merrill, we have to go on General Leroy Manor.
Mhm.
Garmisch, all those, we gotta go at Shazy Lake Road anyway, so,
Yeah, stands to reason.
all right. Are there any more, we're getting to the end, I do have an executive session I need to talk to you guys about. Is there any other public comments? Lori?
One other thing. I went to the beach/park last year, and, you know, the playground was awesome, you know. But then the little person I was with wanted to go to the beach. And that's the rockiest beach I've ever been on in my life. You gotta go down the sand to
Mhm.
get to the beach. Why isn't it not graduated into the water so you don't have to
Lori,
wear shoes?
There's a dam there.
Not where the beach is.
Absolutely. What do you think, they just stopped the wall and then started it over here? There's a cement dam that runs through the beach. That dam is a solid cement
They
wall.
don't even try to graduate the beach down, it's like a sand dune.
But how can you do that? The water comes up this far. The wall is here. I mean, you can put sand out, but the water is there. I mean, just look at the physics of it.
Well, it used to be graduated before. You don't push it in there, you don't push it down.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. There's a cement wall there. The dam is there.
Yeah, but there's a lot of sand on top of that wall that can be pushed down in and had it graduated into the beach, or the water. That is the rockiest beach I've ever been on. It's like, I ain't taking you here again, I'm not going in there. Can't even walk, you gotta have hard shoes, practically boots.
Been like that a long time,
Oh, yeah.
like that when I was a kid.
When I was a
remember it
lifeguard
being
there,
graduated.
when I was a lifeguard there, it was the same way, except the dock was there, but otherwise, yeah, it's,
I don't remember it being such a sand dune when I had the lifeguards there. You know,
no, it's
a path going down like the ocean, you know?
It's not an ocean, it's a lake.
Yeah, no, but the way it is, they got sand dunes and then there's a path down to the beach.
Well, the sand, I mean,
It's like a 3-foot drop off. You're worried about liability. There's a 3-foot drop off there.
well, the sand is, I mean, normally, I mean, it's not a drop off. It graduates down. It's not like you have to jump down.
It wasn't last year. There was a path that went down and everything else was like a drop off, 3-foot drop off.
All right, well, I'll look at it. Well, I was there several times last year with the lifeguards, so,
Well, I was there playing with a
Once.
little girl that wanted to go to the beach and go to the playground. So,
yeah, it's a lake beach. It's,
a lot of lake beaches have nice sandy waters.
yeah, but they don't have a dam that is sitting there. There's a cement wall right there.
You don't see it.
That's because it's covered with sand.
Well, why not put more sand
We bring in
down?
sand every year to cover that wall up, because, so people, and when the dock was there, it was kind of ignored, you know. When the dock was there, it also held back some of the water, so you could have a little bit more graduation, but now it's wide open. I don't know why I know why they took the dock out, because it's falling apart. It was slowly breaking like that, but, yeah. But
You mean that breakwater that was out there?
yeah,
Cement breakwater?
the dock, yeah.
Yeah. That was there to protect the dam.
Mr. Minor's private dock. Okay, is that it? All right,
I'll make a motion to go into executive.
Second.
thank you all for coming. You will know more about insurance than you ever wanted to know.
Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you all for coming, thank you.
Yep.
Good night.
You're all set.
Yep.
Bye.
Dad, stop the recording.
Good, good.
Please.
You gotta come get some, I'm dry.